Welcome to this masterclass. Look, today we are going to elevate your facility management from a purely reactive, frankly outdated housekeeping activity into a highly sophisticated, data-driven operational system. If you're an executive, a facility manager, or an operational leader, this premium training seminar is specifically designed for you. We're going to break down the exact insider-level frameworks used by elite organizations. Why? To ensure safety, maximize your efficiency, and dramatically extend your asset lifespan. Let's get right into it. All right, let's start with a hard truth. Complaints are not a measurement system, and honestly, neither is that gut feeling you get after a quick walkthrough of your building. If you're relying on either of those to gauge performance, well, you're already failing at quality control. This reactive approach just guarantees blind spots, inconsistent hygiene, and ultimately wasted capital. Today, we replace that old mindset with defensible, hard data. To do that, this training seminar is structured into 5 core modules. We'll cover the foundations of facility operations, data-driven performance metrics, health, safety, and compliance, standardized chemical safety protocols, and finally, implementing quality management systems. Okay, let's establish our operational baseline. What exactly is professional facility cleaning? It's the systematic process of removing dirt, pathogens, and environmental pollutants to maintain hygiene, safety, functionality, and regulatory compliance. We absolutely must shift our mindset here. This isn't just about making a lobby look shiny. It's about asset preservation. It's about strict risk mitigation. So, Module 1, Foundations of Facility Operations. Let's unpack the core principles that literally support every single world-class cleaning operation. Because without these foundations firmly in place, any advanced strategies we discuss later are just going to fall flat. Now, take a look at these core objectives. You're protecting occupant health, reducing contamination, improving safety, but notice the broader business impact. Preserving facility assets, supporting operational continuity. These prove that daily cleaning isn't just a chore, it is an essential operational pillar. I mean, think about it. A facility compromised by poor hygiene or pest activity is a facility that simply cannot operate at peak productivity. Moving right into Module 2, Data-Driven Performance Metrics. This is where we strip away the guesswork, build out rigid, actionable data systems, and learn how to actually measure success. If you want elite performance, you must track all 10 of these critical KPIs. Missing even one creates a massive blind spot. For instance, tracking your scheduled task completion rate right alongside your corrective action closure rate tells you not just if the routine work is happening, but exactly how fast your team fixes deviations. And look at number 10, the OSHA incident rate. That is an absolute non-negotiable metric for operational safety. But remember, context is everything. You have to adapt your dashboard to your specific environment. A metric framework built for a commercial office is completely inadequate for a manufacturing plant. In an office, you're focused on occupant visible cleanliness, things like restroom inspection scores and supply fill rates. But step into an industrial facility, you have to heavily weight safety-critical metrics. We're talking OSHA incident rates, lockout/tagout compliance, and hazardous spill response times. Failure there doesn't just mean a tenant complaint, it means an OSHA citation. Now, when we step back for high-level executive evaluation, you can streamline your focus to these 4 macro metrics: appearance, customer satisfaction, indoor air quality, and sustainability. Sure, level of appearance sounds subjective at first, but you quantify it using objective third-party surveys and random sampling. By rigorously evaluating these 4 specific areas, you create a powerful, top-down view of your facility's true operational health. All right, transitioning into Module 3, Health, Safety, and Compliance. This is the absolute bedrock of protecting your workforce and ensuring your business stays compliant. You've got to understand the distinct mandates between regulatory bodies here. OSHA regulates your internal worker safety, so sanitation, proper PPE usage, and safe chemical handling to minimize risks to your staff. The CDC, on the other hand, dictates public health protocols. That means deploying EPA-approved disinfectants, ramping up cleaning frequency on high-touch surfaces, and executing rapid response plans when an illness outbreak actually hits. If you're in healthcare or institutional settings, environmental services, or EVS, requires this precise 6-step integration mandated by the CDC to actually prevent infections. It's not just handing someone a mop, right? You have to integrate EVS into a true culture of safety. You must standardize your protocols, rigorously monitor adherence, and, this is absolutely key, constantly provide feedback to your frontline staff so they know exactly how effective they are. Which brings us to Module 4, Standardized Chemical Safety Protocols. This is where we establish rigid frontline execution strategies to prevent catastrophic chemical hazards. Concentrated chemicals are incredibly effective, but only when managed with absolute precision. So, as an operational leader, you must enforce total compliance with manufacturer documentation. Never, ever mix cleaning chemicals with water or any other substance unless you are explicitly instructed to do so. Diluting things improperly can create toxic fumes, ruin the actual disinfectant, and literally put your staff in immediate physical danger. To eliminate that risk, implement this exact standard operating procedure for chemical dilution. First, equip the right PPE and ventilate the workspace. Measure accurately. But I really want to emphasize step 4 here. Add water first. You always add water to the container before introducing the concentrated chemical. Why? Because it prevents violent, dangerous chemical reactions and splashing. Finally, make sure every single container is clearly labeled. Another crucial detail: never shake a concentrated solution. Shaking releases volatile fumes and drastically increases the risk of splashing. Precision requires the right tools. Train your staff to always use a long, chemical-resistant stirring rod to safely mix the solution. It sounds simple, but these highly specific operational details are exactly what separate amateur housekeeping from elite facility management. Let's move to our final section, Module 5, Implementing Quality Management Systems. Let's see how all of this builds into a continuous improvement framework that manages the entire life cycle of your operation. What you're looking at is the Cleaning Industry Management Standard, or CIMS. It's the ultimate benchmark for customer-centered organization. Developed by the ISAA, this gives you the exact architecture needed to run your operations efficiently, measure performance, and prove to your stakeholders that you're positioned to deliver world-class quality. CIMS is built on these 5 pillars: quality system, service delivery, human resources, health, safety, and environmental stewardship, and finally, management commitment. By structuring your system around these, you guarantee a methodical approach to hiring, training, and service delivery. Honestly, if your operation is struggling right now, I can almost guarantee it's because at least one of these 5 pillars is currently compromised. Now, what's really brilliant about this standard is that CIMS is fundamentally non-prescriptive. It doesn't force you to buy a specific brand of equipment or a rigid product line. Instead, it relies on universally accepted management principles. That gives you, the executive leadership, the total flexibility to build a bespoke operation that perfectly fits the unique needs of your own facility. If you happen to outsource your operations and maintenance, you need to mandate this 5-step contractor selection process. Don't just take the first bid. Develop a strict site-specific screening process. Get initial proposals, establish your major contract requirements based on that actual data, obtain final bids, and then vigorously manage the service plan. Never accept a generic copy-paste service contract. Build it around your specific data-driven requirements. As we wrap up this masterclass, I want you to compare the outdated reactive housekeeping model with the elite operational system we've just mapped out. We've moved from a subjective, complaint-driven model into a sophisticated world of risk-based cleaning, highly trained personnel, strict chemical safety protocols, and continuous data optimization. When you integrate the KPIs, the standardized SOPs, and the CIMS protocols, this is the precise return on investment you get. Consistent hygiene and higher occupant satisfaction for sure, but beyond that, you are actively lowering operational costs, you're improving workforce productivity because you're reducing illness, you're minimizing regulatory compliance risks, and you are drastically extending the lifespan of your physical assets. So the choice moving forward is binary. Will your facility continue to blindly manage complaints, or will you step up and execute a data-driven operational system? Take these frameworks, eliminate the operational blind spots in your building, and demand absolute professional excellence from your programs starting today. Thank you for attending this masterclass. Now go execute.